Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy. It's Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. This is a brand new What If, a brand new Deku What If. What if Deku had a Hulk Quirk Part 1? And if you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And yes, I do have other stuff in line. Like I want to do other What Ifs, but right now I feel like I have a lot of Deku ideas, so I might as well just get them out there. And if I want to do Naruto stuff, I have to really probably rewatch the entirety of Naruto, because I don't want to mess up a bunch of stuff throughout that What If. Or I basically need to like refresh myself for the most part. But with that said, make sure to check the links in the description for anything that you want to check out. Maybe a Discord, maybe my Spotify, stuff like that. And yeah, if you enjoy the video, please show some love to the video. It helps a ton. And yeah, I don't want to waste much more of your time, and I want to get right into the What If. So let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is born into a world full of superpowers known as quirks. But a surprise would be awaiting him when he was just the age of 4 years old, when he would be told that he does have a quirk, that he has a quirk, but it seems to be an odd one. It just mildly increases a lot of his attributes, like his speed, his strength, his durability, his regeneration. So when he, if he breaks his hand or something like that, instead of the normal allotted time that it would take to actually regenerate, aka heal, it would be a lot quicker than normal. Now, it won't be like instant. It won't be like, oh, it's like 2 hours, or it's like 30 minutes. No. It would be like at least a week, or at least like 3 to 6 days to actually heal a full-on broken hand, which is extremely impressive. Don't get me wrong. It's very, very impressive, but it's not like to an extent that's insane. On top of that, his strength and speed is above human level, basically giving indicators that he's on a strength or speed level of like Olympians to an extent. And he basically has some very, very high level attributes at a young age. And their assumption, the doctor's assumptions, are that it will continue to grow, that his strength, his speed, and stuff like that, it will grow. But here's the thing, it probably won't grow that much further. It seems that his quirk has really peaked out with his strength and speed and stuff like that. And just to keep this in mind, because it is going to help him in like a lot of different scenarios, but it's not going to be overpowering things that you could possibly imagine. But with the proper care, with the proper habits and training regimens and stuff like that, Izuku could truly get to the point where he'll be pretty formidable in terms of in a fight of some sorts, right? So maybe he has a chance at being a hero. Now, time will tell. It's going to be a lot of things to go through, especially the doctor even says that a lot of people with very special quirks don't actually end up being heroes, but you always should strive for greatness and always should try to strive for greater things, right? And as they leave, the doctor is smiling and, cheek to cheek or ear to ear type of smile. And as the door closes, his smile would go away and he would begin typing on his computer. And as we look at his computer, it seems to be typing out details of Izuku's quirk, seemingly that Izuku's quirk has more to it than he was letting off. And it seems that they were able to kind of diagnose this, or kind of figure this out for the most part. And it seems like it has an extra layer to it that Izuku now does not know, and the doctor is withholding the information on what this other side of his quirk truly is. But as the years would go by, Izuku would find no trouble in what his quirk is. He would be able to do things a lot better. He was a lot faster than a lot of the kids, a lot stronger than a lot of his classmates. And he was just a lot, he was up there, right? He definitely was peaking, you could say, right? And as he enters into middle school and stuff like that, nobody really bullies him. but everybody believes that he is kind of, I wouldn't call him an average dude, but he's like a dude that is just relatively strong, relatively fast, and relatively has good durability and stuff like that. And he is, better than most of the classmates in terms of potential. But the thing is nothing really pops out. Nothing really shows out. Nothing really shows everyone like, oh yeah, this right here, this kid, he's the next future hero. He's the next up. But Izuku tries to convince everybody that he's going to be the next All Might. Talking about the next superhero. No. He's going to be the next All Might. And that's what he's striving for. That's what he wants. And that's what he's going to get. He's going to be the next All Might, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop him. In which they kind of are like, yeah, Izuku, that's cool, man, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it happening. I mean, you're not strong enough. You're not fast enough. You're not, you're not quick enough. You're not durable enough. Like, there's no way you can be the next All Might, right? Not the next All Might. Maybe you could be a hero. Maybe you could be a solid hero, but not the next All Might. In which Izuku tells them that they will see, that he's going to prove them all wrong, that he's going to truly be the next All Might, the next one up, and the next strongest hero that you could possibly imagine. In which they're all like, all right, Izuku, I mean, we believe you, man. Like, you got it, I believe. In which Izuku would be listening to the teacher as he talks about, career aptitude tests and stuff like that. But Izuku would just be writing down in his journal. What is he writing down? Well, details about his own quirk, details about what he should be doing in a 10-month span leading up to the UA entrance exam. What else should he be doing? What else should he be working on? Because he really feels that there's something underlying that he's missing. There's something that he needs to stack on top of it. Is it martial arts? Is it more physical and hard labor like training? Is it, what is it? Truly, he's trying to seek out what that thing is. And he can't find it. He doesn't know just yet, but he knows that he has a chance, that he can do it. And during this time, he would listen to the teacher, yes, but he would kind of ignore him at the same time. And he would be just jotting down notes of people he aspires to be like. Stuff about All Might, stuff about other heroes like Mirako, who basically have this brawler-esque fight style. But here's the thing, Izuku doesn't want to be a brawler necessarily. He doesn't want to just, go in swinging. And Mirako is a good example of being technical, but also being a brawler at the same time. She's very technical with her kicks and her punches and so on. And he wants to aspire to be very similar to that. But like I said before, what he doesn't know is there's something lying deep within him that he's really never even noticed. Izuku Midoriya is a go-lucky, happy, and considerate kid. He's never gone to the point of really anger. Everybody enjoys being around him. Everybody likes him. So there's really no point of him getting necessarily angry. There's no time where he's like frustrated and he's pissed. There's no time where he fears for his life. And there was no time for him to really see that other side of him. But as he's coming home one day, as that day that he's walking home, he begins writing in his journal notes about what he should do. Maybe go into martial arts, maybe learn this, maybe learn that, maybe start training his body to an even higher level than he's ever had before outside of his normal gym training or gym, workouts and stuff like that. Like, no. Like, train it to its absolute extent and push himself beyond every boundary he possibly can think of. He's writing all these things down, and as he's headed underneath a bridge, he begins to continue writing things down, but he begins to hear rumblings underneath the ground. As he hears these rumblings, and as these things are kind of meshing and kind of moving around like crazy, Izuku's thinking, what is that noise? What is going on? He would turn as a giant sludge villain would come bursting out of nowhere. Izuku would be shocked, thinking, what the heck is that thing? As he would immediately start backing up, and the sludge villain would tell him that he needs his body, that he needs to get away and hide from All Might. In which Izuku's like, what is this guy talking about? Izuku begins to run through the tunnel, as he's actually outpacing the sludge villain to a certain extent. Like I said before, Izuku's no joke in terms of speed, strength, and durability. Izuku is like Olympian level speed, so he's able to at least pace through the fact that he has an advantage on the Sludge villain in terms of distance that he already had on him, and he begins to run away at pretty quick speeds. Izuku would feel though the Sludge villain getting closer and closer, and as he exits the tunnel, he would take a sharp left, dodging the Sludge villain as he would go flying, trying to grab Izuku directly into the wall. Sludge villain would turn though and go barreling back at Izuku. Izuku would try to jump over him, but as he does, he would get caught by the foot. Izuku would try to get out of it, struggling and trying to push his way out, but as he turns, as he's about to basically give up and realize that he's not going to get out of this, he sees something at the other end of the tunnel, sees someone, and All Might is there. With one punch, with one Detroit smash, shattering the villain, but also slamming Izuku into the wall as well, as Izuku would smack his head on the wall pretty damn hard, and he would get a big gash on his head, like one that is extremely bad. Izuku would be bleeding everywhere, man, everywhere. All Might would come running over and think that, oh, he really messed up. Like, this is not good. He has to get to this kid to a hospital, like, now. As he's about to basically do this, as he's thinking about doing this, Izuku, his skin, it begins to change. His skin begins to become green, and he begins to get up. Izuku's body begins to contort, but no, it's not contorting, it's growing. Izuku's body begins to become muscular, and he begins to enlarge. 6, 7, 8 feet tall, a large being. Izuku would be standing there, facial expressions completely different, and his clothes shredded to bits with only his pants still intact, looking at All Might. A behemoth versus a behemoth. Izuku has evolved into whatever was laying dormant within him, within his body, within his psyche, and he begins to stare at All Might, and he would just scream and roar like this primal roar toward All Might, as Izuku would stare at All Might, about to punch him, and All Might stands there and stares at him thinking, what is this kid doing? What happened? How did he sees that the blood now no longer dripping, his head completely healed, but his body now one of what seems to be a hulking figure, a green hulking figure. Izuku, or the Hulk version of Izuku, would smack All Might into a wall, immediately looking around, going to basically find where this Sludge villain is, but sees that he's in absolute pieces. Izuku would run over and begin smashing the Sludge villain that is in little pieces into, like, you know, like actual like mush and like goo. And as he does this, Izuku would roar once again and turn toward All Might. But as he turns toward him, the All Might that he saw that was there, the large one, is no longer, and it's a small version. Small Might walks over and tells him, calm down, everything's fine, he's safe now, and that there's nothing wrong, everything's okay, and he's sorry, he didn't mean to hurt him, he didn't know the kid was even there, he didn't see him, he was on the other side of the wall, and he wants him to calm down. Seriously, he needs to relax. In which Izuku, or the Hulk version of Izuku, would look at All Might, the small version of him, and then he would crouch down just a little bit, and then his body would slowly become less muscular. He would slowly reduce in height, and Izuku would be laying there. The real Izuku, not the hulking figure, would be laying there completely out cold. All Might would be shocked to see this. What did he just run into? What was that? Truly, what was that? He's never seen a power like that. He's never seen someone who could just smack him and send him flying, crashing into a wall with one blow. Not the way that Izuku just did. And it seems like the kid doesn't even have control over the power just yet. It seems like it's only a fraction of its strength. And All Might grabs Izuku, helping him away as he would put the Sludge villain in a bottle and take him as well. And he takes the kid to a hospital and then drops off the Sludge villain at the police station. As he would then go toward where the hospital is, where Izuku is, and as he enters, Izuku's already awake, healed from his injuries, and also healed in general. Izuku would see this small version of All Might and wonder, Who are you? What are you? In which, of course, he doesn't really remember much. That head trauma that he basically got and then healed from kind of forced him to kind of forget what necessarily occurred. But the one thing he didn't forget is that face, the face of the Hulk itself. He remembers the transformation. He remembers as his back of his head was healing once again, as his brain itself was healing itself. He could feel it all. And he remembers the figure. He remembers the hulking figure, but he doesn't remember All Might. He doesn't remember the small version of All Might, in which All Might would explain that it's him. It's All Might. It's the one who came to save or stop the Sludge villain. And, well, he hurt him on accident. He didn't mean to. And well, the kid transformed into, in which Izuku basically cuts him off and says, the Hulk. Yes, I know. In which All Might's confused. What do you mean you know? In which Izuku says that it was only a theory, but he always felt this underlying person within him, as if there was another person or another being within him that was kind of trying to make decisions in a way. But his decisions were always fueled by rage, always fueled by anger. But he didn't understand what it was, thinking that it was just some sort of psyche that he had, some sort of thing that he had in the back of his mind that he always wanted to do. But Izuku didn't understand the full capabilities of it, didn't understand the full idea of what this thing was. But now he knows that this is a monster, in which Izuku sits there and basically puts his head down, but All Might tells him that no, it's not. You gotta understand that thing, whatever it is still you. It's you, but you need to understand that thing is not a monster. You need to understand that is part of you, or it is you, and you need to live with it, understand it, and evolve with it. Because that's your pathway to being the hero you sought after and the hero you want to be. In which Izuku is shocked to hear this. I mean, how do you know that I want to be a hero? In which All Might would throw him his journal. All of this information told me that, kid. All of it. Every last tiny detail. It told me that you were working towards something. That you were working towards being a hero. Controlling this anger, controlling this power. You're strong. But you just need to be stronger. All Might tells him this and tells him that the potential he has is beyond all of the imagination. You have no idea the kind of things you are truly capable of. Those are the things that All Might is telling him. Those are the things that Izuku is hearing from his number one kind of hero, from the person he idolizes. And Izuku hears him out, and he tells him that he wants to get into UA. He wants to be a hero like him. In which All Might tells him that he can be. Everything he wants to do, he can do. But all it's going to take is hard work. Extremely hard work. In which Izuku, well, he nods his head and says that he'll do whatever it takes. He'll do everything that needs to be done. And over the next 10 months, Izuku will do just that. He says his goodbyes to All Might. His mother would join him and ask if he's okay and this and that and this and that. And eventually, Izuku will be back on his feet, training once again. And for the next 10 months, that's what he would do. Train, study, train, study, train, study. His body, honing his body to its absolute limit, making it so that his strength, his power, his speed was at a higher level. In which, in doing this, he did make himself that much stronger, giving him basically the ability to be far above an Olympian level athlete in strength, speed, durability, all of those things, far above it. But on the side of the Hulk, no. The Hulk is so much more powerful. Izuku's not even close. In his normal form, yes, it is built up to be strong now, but he's still not even eclipsing or even touching a percentage of what the Hulk truly is. Izuku knows that his pathway to truly being a hero is allowing himself to truly bond and be together with this other being, And he even tries to speak with him from time to time. Speak with this being. He tries to talk to him, asking him what he wants to basically do anything. Does he want to be a hero? Because that's what Izuku wants. Izuku wants to be a hero. But as he's saying these things, it's just silence. Nothing. The guy's not talking to him, not even one bit. And Izuku wonders why. Izuku wonders why he's not talking to him. Because he knows now that his little psyche thing, that wasn't true. It was just another person in there. But silence. Completely deadpan silence. And Izuku thinks that, well, maybe he's just not the chatting type anymore. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to him. So Izuku decides to continue his training and go on to his UA entrance exam, which this is where he'll be really tested in terms of what his raw power is truly like. And he starts with his, normal written exam, which Izuku does do pretty well in. He's a pretty smart kid, so he does pretty well in it. And the practical is going to be the real test. He is, to everyone else, a normal human being, right? He's just a normal dude. That's what it looks like. And Izuku isn't going to transform, or isn't going to try to transform into the hulking figure, because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. And he doesn't want to make sure, or he wants to make sure that nobody else gets hurt to a large extent. So Izuku would go into the entrance exam, the practical exam, and begin to try and defeat the robots. And he's able to do that. He's able to actually punch his way through the robots. But it's not as easy as you'd think. He's not just going to one punch through them. He actually has to pretty much gather his strength and flip him over his shoulder and slam him into the ground and stuff like that. So he would get through quite a bit of robots, but it's nothing insanely impressive by any means. It's nothing like he's not gonna run around and just one shot. No. He has to actually put a little bit of effort in, because he is stronger than your typical person, way stronger than your typical person, but not to the point where he's just gonna smash through metal with relative ease. He has to actually put a little bit of effort into it so that he can actually destroy it. And he gets a decent amount of points, nothing actually too crazy by any means. And Izuku feels he's trying to do his best. He's trying to get more, but he doesn't even know if this is enough. He doesn't know if he has enough points to truly pass on to the next part of next portion of his life, which would be at UA High School. And these considerations are definitely going through his head. What should he do? What is happening? What can he do? Really, that's the reality of it. What truly can he do? As he's thinking about this, he would hear sirens going off and a 0-point robot, a giant robot, coming out of the ground, almost as tall as the buildings themselves. He would begin running away, and he would hear, just out of the corner of his ear, a voice cheering and calling and yelling and asking for help. He runs in that direction and begins to shove the rocks off of a girl by the name of Ochaku Uraka. As he shoves the rocks off, he would grab her and pick her up and begin running. As he begins running, the 0-point robot would be walking directly toward them. Izuku, believing that this might not go well, that he doesn't know if he can technically just outrun this thing. I mean, this is not good, at all, because she was too close to the 0-point robot in the first place. So when he started running, it was able to take long strides and steps toward Izuku, trying to squash him to little bits. Even the teachers above are wondering if the kid's going to be able to get out, if the kid's really going to be able to do something, in which Izuku tells Ochaku to grab onto his back, to basically go into a piggyback ride, in which she would ask why, they're doing fine, is she too heavy, is that why? And in which Izuku says no, something needs to happen and they need to do something, because this thing is going to catch him, hurry up. In which she grabs onto his back and he says, hold on tight, seriously tight. In which Izuku turns toward the robot and she asks, what is he doing? Is he insane? In which Izuku says, no, he's not insane. He has a plan, but the other guy needs to take over. In which he would watch as this foot is about to squish them. This foot is barreling right above them, and Izuku's body begins to transform. transforming once again into the Hulk, as the Hulk would grab onto the foot and throw the 0-point robot over on its back, and the Hulk would jump up in the air and land one single smash into the ground, destroying a huge portion of the robot. But Ochako would go flying into the air, in which the Hulk would look up and jump up and grab her and land back on the ground, basically covering her from harm. But everybody is standing there in complete shock. The sirens go off once again. It's over. No more practical. In which she'd be getting up off of the giant creature, in which she's just looking at him, thinking that this is a pretty crazy sight. How did he do that? His quirk, it's so amazing. In which she asks, "Are you still in there?" In which Hulk would look at her and then look at the other people, as the other people look absolutely terrified, and some of the heroes come out. They actually come out to actually fight Izuku, basically trying to stop him from doing anything else. But this just gets Izuku even more mad. The Hulk version of Izuku begins to get extremely angry. What are they doing? He just saved her. What are they thinking? All the thoughts are going through Izuku and Hulk's head, basically thinking about why are they doing this? Why are they trying to come hurt him when he just did a good thing? When he just did something heroic. In which Izuku would look around and then he would spot someone else. It's All Might. All Might would tell them to stand down, and All Might would tell the kid to calm down, that he did a great job. Everything was great. Izuku shakes his head and he's still angry, still pissed. Something just underlying within him. But as he looks at the girl that stands in front of him, Ochako Uraka, she puts a hand out and basically tells him to calm down, that everything's fine, that he saved her, that he saved, well, them. In which immediately Izuku would begin shrinking back down, and he would be back in his normal form, normal state, and he would pass out on the ground once again. In which everybody is thinking that this kid, he is something. Some teachers think he's special, that he has the potential to be a hero stronger than maybe even All Might himself. But others think that this is just a catastrophe waiting to happen. What happens if they're not able to calm him down? What happens if he can't keep his lid on and he flips out and starts killing people? What happens then? They're not going to be thinking he has potential. They're not going to be thinking that he is some sort of great hero in line. They're going to be thinking that he's a villain. That they're going to be thinking that he should be put behind bars and that he should be captured forever. A lot of teachers feel this way, but All Might says that kid has the most potential you'd possibly imagine. That kid is one of the smartest kids he's met. He says that he has a journal full of analysis, full of ideas of how to control the being that is one with him. And that if he truly stops trying to necessarily control him and they truly come together as one, and during that transformation they are both coherent, they could truly become something that could be the protector of Japan. In which All Might tells the teachers in a meeting that he has his stamp of approval, that they should put him in UA. In which everyone thinks, I'm not sure about this. In which immediately though, a voice that sounds tired, disgruntled, and also just lazy at the same time would kind of pipe up and begin talking. He begins to say that if the kid joins UA, that put him in my class. Put him in class 1A. Which Aizawa immediately would back the kid, thinking that this kid right here, he could be something. But he needs to get his temper in check. He needs to get his personality in check. He needs to get everything he has and all of his Quirk's power in check. And who's better to do it than him? In which he tells them that he'll handle it. That Izuku and the hulking figure, you could tell the hulking figure is built from his rage, built from something else that is deep within Izuku. All of the kind of disgruntled parts of him are built up in this Hulk figure. And the Hulk figure isn't a bad person, not necessarily. But of course, there are risks If Izuku doesn't have full capability and full coherent thoughts with the Hulk at the same time, with this hulking figure at the same time, then there might be some issues. But for now, those issues will be put aside, because Izuku has potential even without that being, even without that transformation. Izuku has massive potential, and they saw it. They all saw it. And they all saw Izuku do what he did. And it seems like Izuku was able to also kind of force the transformation. So it means he does have some coherency and does have some control. So keep that in mind. The kid has potential. And he tells them all that they should never turn down somebody, especially like him. Because what if he turns around and he decides to be a villain? And he decides to be something that they all will fear for the rest of their lives. In which everyone stands there in shock and awe, and All Might stands there as well, thinking that he's right. He is. That he doesn't know if even himself can beat that transformation. If even All Might himself can beat it. But guess what? He doesn't want to fight Izuku. He doesn't want to fight the hulking figure. He wants him to be a hero. He wants him to truly become a hero and be the protector of Japan that he was for so long. Izuku may not be your traditional hero, but his pathway to being one starts at UA High School in Class 1A with the Eraser hero, or Eraserhead, known as Shota Aizawa. But for now, that is where we're going to end off part 1 of What If Deku Had a Hulk Quirk. And if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And that's all I really got to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.